Meanwhile, at the Hall of Cage.
This is my snakeskin jacket, and for me, it's a symbol of my individuality and belief in personal freedom.
Oh God, not the bees.
Killing me won't bring back your goddamn honey.
What do you think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna save the fucking day.
How absurd.
Why couldn't you put the bunny back in the box?
How absurd. I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence. How absurd.
How, in the name of Zeus's butthole, did you get out of your cell?
How absurd.
What's in the bag? A shark or something?
How absurd.
Well, I think you better pull the trigger, because I don't give a fuck.
How absurd.
I never disrobed before gunplay.
How absurd.
And he did the same shit. He would use a mic like this, but he would use a stand, and the bottom would be off, and he would just like carry the stand around, Freddie Mercury style.
I mean,
it's
rad. Cool, and if you're used to playing an instrument,
You
and
got
all of a
something
sudden
for
you're
your
not,
hands.
like, because otherwise you feel like an idiot waving your hands around.
Where'd I put my
Unless
hands?
you're doing like Josh Groban style classical music, then you keep the mic in the stand and you just stand there and like Ave Maria, because you know you're not gonna move.
Yeah.
You raise me up.
You know he's on TikTok now, and he and Bublé are two of the funniest ones. Like Michael Bublé's TikTok is hilarious. Michael Bublé has merchandise that has the meme of him coming out of his cave for Christmas.
Yes, he does.
You raise me up.
I think he's got 3 TikToks about that. Where
Yeah, he does. He's selling them. It's great.
Also, spoiler alert, I feel like we're already recording because I noticed when Justin was talking, he was adjusting the mic stand as he was talking. So we are 100% recording right now, just so everyone knows.
That's crazy. Why would we be recording on Caging Greatness, the show where we discuss the films of Nicolas Cage and also how Thomas Jefferson was a massive prick.
Fucking dick bag.
Oh no,
Sucked.
you might want to edit that first part out because me and Josh Groban, we sound eerily similar.
Yes.
Copyright strike. Never heard of her.
Oh my god.
Well,
Wasn't he on The Office for like an episode?
I don't know.
He was like Andy's brother.
I watched The Office through once, and I did not like it.
I mean, that's fair. It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
don't really enjoy the train wreck comedy.
Yeah,
like
no,
you just
I'm not-
know everything awful is happening. It's just uncomfortable.
Like
after a
bad
while.
people doing cringe stuff. I can't get into it. I hate it.
Yeah, but I
It
also love
hurts me.
Seinfeld, and and they're worse.
I watched it when it came out and really enjoyed it. And every time I try to watch like it on syndication now, I'm just like, ew, this is awful.
Yeah, no, same. I was young, but I watched it. I loved it. I watched the finale when it aired. Like, I loved Seinfeld.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But I can't rewatch it. And I don't know if that's partially because, it's the same sort of, it's called the Seinfeld effect, because it was so new and fresh and different at the time. And so much since then has taken from it and copied it.
That's
and
very
just
true.
Twisted it. That now it seems old and boring compared to what we're used to because it's been spread across all media. It's the same thing that happened with Watchmen and The Dark Knight Returns, except Dark Knight Returns is not that good. And it's like Nirvana suffered from it. So a lot of people who listen to Nirvana, and I don't like Nirvana, but I know it's personal taste. But a lot of people who listen to Nirvana like fresh are like, this just sounds like blah 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 from like 5 years ago. It's like, yeah, because they listened to Nirvana. So yeah, that could have something to do with it. Today we're talking to Caging Karaoke.
Welcome to Random Bullshit.
What the fuck are you doing here? This isn't Travolting
Well, I
Development.
haven't introduced you yet, Frank. God damn it!
I mean, he's been talking the whole time. People know he's here.
They don't know he's here. That could have been someone who sounded like Frank. Could have been you doing your impression.
It is not Frank. It's Cannon sounding like Frank.
It's actually me the whole time.
You cannot prove otherwise.
It's been me. It's been me.
You cannot prove Frank is here.
It's been Cannon the whole time. I swear, it's been me.
Okay.
Damn, Cannon, your throat must be on fire after just throwing both of those out.
This entire episode is gonna be a Franco.
I've been throwing my voice between two microphones right
That's
now.
some Jeff Dunham shit right there. Except it's funny.
And less
Abaddon.
racist.
I trained Abaddon to sound like Frank as well.
Abaddon?
Anyway, today on the show, we're going to be discussing the Ghost Rider films. We'll be discussing the first one, probably not nearly as long, but we'll talk about it. We'll say what we liked, what we didn't like, that sort of thing. And then we'll be heaping tons of vitriol and scorn on Ghost Rider 2. So it should be a lot of fun. And for that, we have our special guest and resident Ghost Rider expert, Postman Frank. Say hello, Postman Frank.
Hello, Postman Frank.
Thank you, Cannon, for that wonderful Postman Frank.
Oh, you're welcome. And also, we'll also be doing this. We'll also be doing this entire podcast with a Ghost Rider action figure hanging above our heads.
Yeah, no, there is a Ghost Rider action figure right over our heads.
That was not planned.
No.
Granted, that Ghost Rider action figure has moved several times down here. However, it is now quite literally above Jonathan's head. And if it moves at any point and hits Jonathan in the head, we know that the actual spirit of vengeance is here and is angry that we didn't like the sequel.
That's right.
Spoilers.
And speaking of action figures, I'm super stoked because I just won an online raffle for Conan the Barbarian Mezco 112 action figure, which I desperately wanted, but it's stupid expensive. But now I'm getting it for $20.
$20.
Hell yeah.
Can we tell everybody how stupid expensive it is?
It's going for about $500 right now.
$5
$5.
Woo!
So, I won that raffle immediately following the ending of Ghost Rider 2. So something bad went into something good.
Yeah.
And
Your suffering paid off.
I'm pretty stoked about it. That's the last time I'm going to talk about it. I had to say it. I'm pretty excited. It's my love of Conan the Barbarian. We've documented it on the show.
Yeah.
Between Dolph Lundgren, Jean-Claude Van Damme, and Arnold Schwarzenegger, that's my childhood. Conan the Barbarian. I love Conan as a character.
He's also a big fan of the Jason Momoa Conan the Barbarian.
I will stab you.
There are objects down here with stabbing ability.
Of course, I'll tell the police I did it out of love. But tonight, we're talking about Ghost Rider. We actually will talk about Ghost Rider.
Yes,
don't worry.
we're going to do
So
that.
please, this is the first
happen.
10 minutes of random bullshit like we always do. But as always, with me are my estimable co-hosts. We have Jonathan. Cannon.
I am here, and just because of what we just sat through, I don't think this episode deserves a can top, even though I don't have any cans. But yes, I'm here. I'm ready to talk about dudes with heads that are on fire.
Patrick.
It's penitent Pat and look into my eyes.
And then Cannon doing his Frank imitation.
Hello, everyone. It's great to be here today. I know this really isn't a revolting development, but I am thrilled to be on the first episode of Caging Greatness because I love Ghost Rider so much, and now I'm here to talk about Ghost Rider and just have a good time.
Oh, God. I'm just not going to talk anymore. I'm just going to motion over Cannon.
I wasn't even planning on doing that. I was seriously not even planning on fucking doing this. I'm sorry, John.
And if you think this is making me mad, no, I could not speak because I'm crying because I'm laughing so hard because I was about to say something and he just jumped right into it. Oh my God. It's so goddamn funny.
Frank, I'm so glad you're here.
We've got a notepad. You can just write down what you want Cannon to say as you.
Yeah, I make sure we are stocked with legal pads in this house.
Like Frank just writes on the piece of paper.
I'm just bringing a dry erase board and just writing up my comments.
It's like, hey, Cannon, read this. Cannon is a big dumb bitch.
I think Cannon is a big dumb bitch.
I think we're gonna have fun. Yeah.
We have fun here.
Not only are we finally done watching Ghost Rider 2, but it's also 7 o'clock. So we're like 3 hours early for recording, so we actually have energy.
I was about to say, this is the first ever double feature in the history of this show, and we are recorded earlier than usual.
Yeah, because we're recording on a Sunday when none of us had anything else to do.
Yeah,
We gave our Sunday to Ghost Rider. God, that's depressing.
Granted, if Mother Nature wasn't such a fucking cuntwad, I would literally be in listening to Slipknot live right now. But due to inclement weather that we have been having here in the good old state of Alabama, the Oak Mountain Amphitheater had to cancel the Slipknot show, which is the second time this show has been canceled for me. First time was due to COVID. Second time is because of raindrops keep falling on my goddamn head. But yeah, it's going to be a fun time. Let's go.
As much as I hate Slipknot, I really do feel bad for you and Liz because I know y'all are excited for it.
It's one of my bucket list bands.
Yeah.
Like, I really want to see them live. And it's becoming a real problem in my life, apparently.
Well, maybe you need to enter a Facebook raffle.
No, I mean, that's the thing. I have,
Win
but I keep
shows.
losing them. So,
like, it'll enter a Slipknot concert one.
I mean,
and then we watch Ghost Rider 1 and 2.
Well, and maybe in this case, watch The Fanatic again. The more suffering, the better the results. Maybe.
I mean, that's true. That is true.
We could just come down to the studio one day and you just see Slipknot like tied up in the corner, like.
So, like, tonight when I go to bed, I'm just going to throw on The Fanatic for the third time. And Liz is going to be like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm just like, this is just my life now.
Trying to think.
I'm just going to ponder my life decisions.
This is my trauma response.
And I'm also waiting on my Slipknot refund so I can buy another belt so I can have a little serotonin in my life. That'd be great.
And I mean, you got like a whole box of pops and shit at the shop too.
Yeah, oh yeah. Those will definitely be coming home soon. This next check's, it fucking better be fat as much as I've been there here lately. Jesus Christ.
But I'm just waiting for you to come down here and like Pat said, Slipknot's going to be tied up in the corner because Abaddon. And you're going to come down to Slipknot's just going to be tied up in the corner and you just look at her and go, Abaddon! And then the credits will hit.
Nosferatu.
Everywhere we look, everywhere's an Abaddon. Catching the Slipknots. Oh.
All right, that's 10 minutes of bullshit.
Ghost Rider!
Let's get into it. We'll do the normal thing. And since it's arranged properly, Frank will go last as the guest because, that's just how it seems to work on shows. And
We're going to skip me, though, because,
No, we're just going to go around.
No. That's not how it worked last time.
Well, I'm changing it up.
I'm fine. It's fine.
So, Jonathan, my friend.
Wait, are we doing both or
No, one?
We'll start with
just do one.
Just do it number one, then we'll go around. We'll talk about one, then we'll get to two. I don't anticipate one taking very long. John, what did you think of Ghost Rider Uno?
It was fine. I don't really have much to say. Like, there were parts about it that were pretty cool and enjoyable. Some parts not so much. Some of the acting was very bad, and the writing was what you would say not good. But
Yeah, that's
for like a fun Ghost Rider movie, it is what it is. This is the most 2005 movie to ever 2007. 2.5.
All right, fair. Cannon,
Yes, sir.
what did you think?
I've seen this movie a couple of times. I mean, I was like a year out of high school when this movie came out. I'm sure I saw it in theaters. It's definitely not the worst pre-MCU Marvel movie to ever exist.
Because there's like Daredevil, Elektra.
Yeah, goddamn.
I've seen that movie. I don't remember a goddamn
No,
thing
Electra's
about
the
it.
worst. Yeah.
I love how IMDb just decided to shit the bed on me today. All right, here we go. We're back. Anyway, I'm kind of a newbie when it comes to the Ghost Rider character. Again, that's why I'm excited that Frank's here because he knows his shit about the character. And it's fine. Like, I don't mean to just copy Jonathan here, but it's not like aggressively bad. It's just, kind of dull at points. And I will say there are a lot of like well shot scenes throughout. And it's a lot better than I remember it being, to be honest. That's not really saying much. At the same token, right now, my feelings on the first Ghost Rider movie, I would actually give it a 3. I would give it a solid 3 stars.
Nice. Patrick.
Oh, it's Pat
how we
time.
feeling?
This is my first time seeing both of the Ghost Riders.
Oh, really?
Yeah, first time. I'm a ghost virgin today. And And I feel like I was a little more positive on it. Like there's definitely a lot of wobbly portions of the film, but there wasn't really anything that just I felt was just painfully bad or like offensively bad. It's definitely very dated in its production values and sort of its content, but like I don't know, some of the goofy parts are entertaining in their own way, and like Ken had said, there's like some genuinely like really solid like sequences that feel very Ghost Rider. And as someone who's a fairly new Ghost Rider fan, like I really appreciated that part of that aspect of the film. So I'm giving it a 3 as well. Also, my review was this movie was tailor made to have Theory of a Dead Man on its soundtrack.
Yes, yes, agree. Why is that so true?
Frank.
Okay. As mentioned, I am a huge Ghost Rider fan, and so a little colored on my judgment of this movie.
Only slightly biased, yes.
Only slightly biased. As far as I'm concerned, it is a very, very faithful adaptation to the original series of Ghost Rider. The origin story, the way they did the origin story is spot on. The bad dialogue that we've mocked during the movie is totally what you would read in a 1970s Ghost Rider comic. It was totally on point. And it let Nicolas Cage be his cagiest with just the camp and everything. I love just about everything about this movie. Some of the dialogue, as people have mentioned, is kind of stupid, but you know, it's comic books. It was a faithful adaptation to comic book dialogue. And there were a lot of the imagery that's just so spot on Ghost Rider. Like, I would love to have a poster of that there at the end of the two Ghost Riders riding into the dark. The beginning of it with the image of the Ghost Rider and then going around the logo of Ghost Rider. Fantastic. I'm going to give it 4.5 stars.
Okay. Oh, nice.
Very nice.
Big fan. For me, I enjoyed it. It's a very paint by numbers superhero origin story in a lot of ways, which is fine. Inoffensive. There are a lot of cool shots. There's a lot of fun stuff. Sam Elliott is always a plus in anything he's in. Cage was restrained but still crazy and fun. Eva Mendes is a very attractive lady who's always enjoyable and stuff. She seems to, even in movies like this, there's always a warmth to her acting that makes you feel like, yeah, she's a real character. Wes Bentley was garbage. He played Blackheart.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
He was fucking awful.
From American Beauty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I straight up thought that motherfucker was Hayden Christensen for a hot second.
No, Hayden Christensen can act. I've seen him do it.
How is it that he gave off more personality in American fucking Beauty than he did as the main goddamn villain in a Marvel film?
Because it was super two-dimensional.
Better director, probably.
No.
But anyway, he's garbage.
Yeah.
He lowered the score for me an entire star. Because you've got Peter Fonda, who's fine.
Yeah.
But then you're like, Wes, but I'm going to say dumb things and sound like I'm not even here. It's like I'm reading them from a cue card and I'm evil. And it's just bad.
Yeah.
Like that, like if you get anybody else halfway decent in that role, I think it improves it dramatically. So for me, I gave it 3 stars when I saw it the last time and rated it on Letterboxd then. I double checked now. Yeah, that's still right. Still 3 stars.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't hate it. It's a lot to like. A lot of problems.
I mean, I will say, not to get into spoiler territory for our own show, but all things considered.
Yeah.
It's about to get a lot worse.
Yeah, I mean, 3 stars isn't bad. 3 stars is slightly above average. It's fine.
Yeah. And it's like, we've never said, like, just because we give a movie a certain star rating doesn't necessarily mean that we love or hate this movie.
Yeah.
Like, I've given movies pretty low scores on Letterboxd, but at the same time, I still really enjoy them.
Yeah.
I will say if I'd gotten 30 seconds more of Rebel Wilson, this would have been a 1 star.
Yeah, you know what? I almost forgot that this was one of Rebel Wilson's first roles.
Because the movie was filmed in Australia, which, Rebel Wilson's Australian.
Yeah.
Even though the movie takes place in Texas.
Yeah. Yeah, not even specific a point in Texas. They say
Entering Texas.
certain places where they where Johnny Blaze goes for his little stunt tour. But other than that, like when they pass the Texas state sign, it just says, "Hello, welcome to Texas. Population Texas."
No, it said drive. It said drive friendly the Texas way, and I'm really not thinking that's the Texas.
I don't know if Texas. I don't know if Texas is really known for the genial driving.
I will confirm as someone who has family from Texas, those motherfuckers do not know how to drive.
And as someone who has had to ride through the streets of Texas in like major cities, oh God, I know I complain about drivers here. Oh, we got it good compared to over there. Let me tell you.
And apparently they've got Rebel Wilson, and I don't like it.
They're just showing up in like Australia, Texas.
Look, I mentioned it during the movie. There are not that many actors or actresses that I've hated from the very first millisecond that I've seen them.
Yeah.
I saw her in the trailer because she was heavily featured in the trailer for this.
Yeah, she was.
Immediate disdain and dislike. I don't like her. She's something about her. I hate her. And that has continued. I didn't even hate Jason Momoa from the first second I saw. And then Cats just made it worse. I'm like, oh my God.
With Rebel
Jason
Wilson.
Momoa or Rebel Wilson?
I don't know. To me, it's just funny that like Shimmy is like exuding a level of like disdain that would be reserved for probably like rapists and like sexual predators for like a woman who's done nothing really wrong as far as I'm concerned in terms of like actual like crimes.
You don't know that.
I mean,
Well, as far as he knows,
until someone comes out with the fucking receipts on Rebel goddamn Wilson. Like, it's just like I couldn't possibly hate someone. Like, I don't hate anybody.
It's just weird because there's always certain actors. I'm sure everybody has like one or two that you just look them, you see them, and you're like, I don't like seeing them in things. They make me upset.
I get that feeling.
Yeah, and she's one. She's been one since, and everything I've seen her in since, I just don't like her. I'd rather watch a Jason Momoa movie.
I'm just going to say it's that gut. I hate your face when you see someone.
Yeah, it's just like my dad had the same thing for Julia Roberts. Couldn't stand her. Don't know why. Weird, right? Like my dad's a bastard though. He was like she's got a horse mouth and she can't act.
We haven't even fucking started talking about it. And
Shimmy's like projecting and derailed the show.
To like Rebel Wilson's like first like probably major Hollywood motion picture role.
Which is literally like 10 seconds.
It's 10 seconds too goddamn long.
Like this is, it's a bit.
God.
There's no
I
way.
am tagging Rebel Wilson on Twitter on this episode.
Oh, God.
I don't want to.
I'm not gonna do
Oh,
that.
is it a bad time to mention that I got Rebel Wilson to come on the AYCH and Caging Greatness? She's booked, so sorry.
Probably, yeah.
It's like, what, you're watching Ghost Rider? Oh, yeah, let's do it.
Like it's not the sort of thing like I'm not going to wish ill on her. I'm not a psychopath.
No.
I just don't want to see her in movies. I don't like watching her in things.
But Shimmy,
I feel the same way with Sean Penn actually.
Pitch Perfect.
I don't like Pitch Perfect that much.
I don't either.
I've seen the first one. It's all right. I actually enjoyed it.
It's fine.
I actually think it's pretty funny.
But-
I think it's great.
But no, like I feel the same way about Sean Penn. I've never liked Sean Penn.
He does.
The difference is he seems like he's a real bastard in real life. He's a piece of shit.
yeah.
Rebel Wilson might be perfectly lovely. I just don't like her in movies or TV shows or music videos or on my television.
Can we continue, Shim, please?
Or in a cat suit
I'm getting
eating bugs.
flashbacks to like whenever like John Oliver would show up on TV whenever my dad was home and he would like say something negative about Trump and dad would just turn off the TV. Like Rebel Wilson shows up on Jimmy's TV. It upsets him so much he fucking shuts everything down. You know what? Go to the shop and sorts the books. Fine.
Like he drives all the way to the power station, specifically turns off the power grid to his house, drives back, and sits in the dark in the heat for a week. It's to get the impurities out of the TV.
So Ghost Rider.
So what are we here for again? I forgot.
Well, Rebel Wilson sucks.
All right, Ghost Rider.
I kind of wanted to. I don't mean to put you on the spot, Frank, but I kind of wanted to get your like origin and like how you became a fan of Ghost Rider as a character.
Okay, this is pretty funny.
Okay.
I've come to find out that the story behind where my grandmother got these, but my grandmother lived in Montgomery, which is about an hour and a half from here.
Yeah.
And when we would go and see her, she had like this box of toys for the grandkids to play with. And in this box were 2 comic books. Mm-hmm. One was a haunted tank comic, World War II comic.
So, somewhere like
other,
Rob just set up Rod straight.
And the other was a Ghost Rider comic. And I read those every time, like 5 or 6 times every time I went. And that's where I was first introduced with Ghost Rider. The odd thing is, my grandmother is the wife of a United Methodist minister.
Oh, yeah.
So those 2 particular comics are really odd choices for my grandmother to have in the book. I've come to find out that they're my uncle's comics from when he was a kid that he just left there when he moved. Yeah. So she just, not even looking at them, just stuck them in the box of kid crap.
Yeah.
So that's why they're there. But that's basically my introduction to Ghost Rider. And after that, looking at other comics. As a matter of fact, I did not have that comic in my collection and came across it. And when I saw the cover, I recognized it. I couldn't tell you what issue it was or anything, but I recognized that cover when I come across it one day, and I was like, "Yep, gotta buy this. What is this? $6? Yeah, I'll buy this."
Yeah, there's been a few occasions while I'm at a shimmy shop where I'm just like looking around and I see a book that I actually had as a child. I was like, well, I mean, I have to buy it now.
Oh yeah, he found a Fantastic Four comic for me that way. That was like, I remember having this comic, and I don't know where it went. Why I don't have it now, but I just remember having it as a kid, and it brings back those kid memories. I just want it again, and every time I see it, it's $15. It's not a $15 book. There's nothing in that book that makes it $15. And he finally found me one for like $5, $6. I forget what. But besides that, I mean, honestly, most of it, I didn't buy a lot of Ghost Rider comics when I was young. I read them at the drugstore. You go to the drugstore, the comic spinner rack. My mom's in there shopping for whatever. I would sit at the comic spinner rack and just pick up a comic and read. I'm sure that whoever worked there hated my guts.
Yeah, because I remember
somebody next to me would say, "This isn't a library."
Fuck off, Norton. Is it in a bag? Then fuck you. But that's like the earliest I remember, because my hometown, I actually had a comic store at one point, because I remember my dad buying the single issues of... What are you fucking laughing about, Pat?
It's nothing to do with you. Go on.
Was it Rebel Wilson? Are you laughing about Rebel Wilson?
No, I'm laughing at because Ghost Rider reminds me of the memes that are like reclaiming like the boomer images of like skeletons and motorcycles and guns, and it's just giving them just like dumbass shit to say on them. Like there's a picture of a Grim Reaper with a gun pointed toward the viewer. It's just, "Sorry, ladies, I'm taking this shit."
I have not heard of those, but that sounds incredible.
I'll send you a couple right now.
I know I have some.
So, Cannon, when you were a kid, Cannon, you're getting books with skulls and guns and taking this shit.
I was just going to say, like, the earliest I remember ever acquiring single issues of books is when, like, the death of Superman was happening.
That's fair.
Yeah, and then, like, I never saw him again for, like, years.
But, yeah, I was so excited when this movie came out. I probably went and saw it the first weekend it was out.
Yeah.
And the way I like to go see comic movies is I don't watch a lot of the trailers and stuff because I want to go in without any kind of expectations, which is really difficult nowadays.
Yeah.
And so I went in from the get-go, and that first screen where it, did the whole little voiceover intro by Elliot, who, his voice is like the perfect vessel for the story. And him being the old Ghost Rider was a perfect cast.
Yeah.
And just the imagery that immediately popped up. I know everybody's laughing because of the word I just said, because they're 12. But Yeah, that image popped up of the actual classic Ghost Rider. I was in.
Oh man, that's awesome. Like, but next question: do you have a Ghost Rider tattoo?
I don't have any tattoos.
Really?
No, I have never really had an image in my head or
wrong
seen
one.
one. It was like I need that on my body permanently. Plus, I have really skinny arms.
No,
so
I'm,
I figured that.
I'm just talking shit because I just have like a variation of a Ghost Rider.
Yeah, you have Cosmic Ghost Rider, which I'm
do.
also a big fan of.
Oh, fuck yeah. Like, I was signed, sealed, delivered, ready, on board when that shit was happening. Like, that's the Punisher, but he's also the Ghost Rider?
Yeah, when Shimmy described this character to me, I was like, okay, yes,
Oh, yes.
give me whatever you have of that. Yes,
Yes, everything. Face, neck, and chest, Cosmic Ghost Rider, everything.
That's my new. My back is wide enough for a Cosmic Ghost Rider tattoo, I think.
There's like a panel in in like a Guardians book that I would like just dedicate my whole back to. And it's like Cosmic Ghost Rider running from everywhere.
Yeah, I want your girlfriend's version of the Cosmic Ghost Rider with Thanos and the baby pouch on his bike.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah, that's what I actually want as a tattoo now.
We'll pencil you in, Frank.
I dropped my top.
Ah, damn.
Not my shirt, but my drink lid.
Your drink top.
Oh, no, he has to finish his drink now.
Fuck.
It's almost gone anyway. It's fine. So, Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider, yes. We were actually talking about it.
Yes,
Yeah.
we were talking about Ghost Rider.
You know what I've been thinking in the past 5 minutes? I do have some irrational hatreds. I do. I understand that. And here's what I want to do. I'm going to rewatch both the 2011 Conan and Aquaman and try to see past my hatred and give Jason Momoa a fair shake.
What day you're going to do this? Because I'm going to
I
avoid
didn't say when. It's going to take a lot to work up to it, but I'm going to do it.
Can we? I think
we
we're
get a
going to need
heads
a
up?
camera present.
I'm going to do it.
Pics or it didn't happen.
I'm going to do it, and I'll send you
No,
Snapchats.
it's fine. I'm just joking with you.
I mean, you
But
guys
you
just
cannot get me to like Rebel Wilson. That will not happen.
yeah, you guys just witnessed me doing that with the second Ghost Rider
Yeah,
movie.
well, you tried to be on your phone for the first 30 minutes, and I kept yelling at
really
you.
was like,
I was
maybe
like-
I can. Oh, I got a message. I need to reply to this.
We're not talking about the second one yet. We have to talk about the first one first.
Some of the coolest parts of Ghost Rider 1 that I genuinely enjoyed.
Okay.
Sam Elliott.
Yes.
Yes.
Like
Oh,
one of the best
100%.
casting choices in a
Like
comic book movie.
as a narrator, as the caretaker. Like I want a Sam Elliott Ghost Rider movie.
Oh, yeah.
Show me Old West
Absolutely.
Ghost Rider
Yeah.
Sam Elliott. That'd be great. He was inspired casting.
Mm-hmm.
Again, like I said, I like Eva Mendes. I enjoy it. It's like she's great in the other guys. That's the one with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
I think she's great in Hitch.
Yeah, she's good in Hitch.
And All About the Benjamins. I'm pretty sure I brought that movie up on
Yeah.
this podcast, but she's pretty funny in that as well.
Have you seen The Spirit?
Unfortunately, yes.
So
yes,
she
I saw
plays
that.
a similar, very campy character. Well, not similar character, but it's campy as the character she plays.
there are parts
in Ghost
of the
Rider.
Spirit that are good.
I
She's
may
one of them.
have to watch that again because
I
I saw
enjoy
it
the
in
visual.
fucking theaters in 3D and in the height of that fucking gimmick, and I was not enjoying myself. And I watching it at home, I'll give it another shake. But that was just
It is a
terrible the first
ridiculous. It is a ridiculous cheesy movie. And
time.
if
I
you
love
go,
the first Sin City.
Yeah,
that's what got me in. The
I
first
mean,
place.
it's kind of like the third Sin City in
Yeah,
a way.
it was Frank Miller directing the damn thing.
Well, the best Eva Mendes performance, hands down, this is objective fact, is Too Fast, Too Furious.
She also has the best cameo in Fast 5 when she returns.
Yep.
I haven't seen those.
So Eva Mendes and Ghost Rider was good. We had Donald Logue.
Donald.
Yeah, I love
Logue,
him being Donald Logue.
one of my favorite fucking character actors.
He's so good.
In fact, arguably, he was in one of the first actual like major like cinematic release Marvel films. He was in Blade
Yep.
Yeah.
as well.
What family sitcom did he do? Grounded for Life?
Grounded for Life, yes.
Yeah.
And I watched the shit out of that
Yeah,
show
I like
and
that show, too.
enjoyed every bit of it.
He's really fun.
I've always
Like, I was
enjoyed him as
sad
an
when he
actor.
died in the movie.
I was about to say, like,
Oh yeah, when he
that was scared there for a second.
that was out of left field.
Not happy about that, but yeah, in the movie when his character died.
That's
Was
what I
unpleasant.
meant.
I know, but Jonathan almost gave me a fucking heart attack. I was like, when did I miss Donald Logue dying?
I thought the same thing.
John
I was
has a
like,
Google
wait
alert
a
on his
minute.
phone.
This just in: Donald Logue is dead.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Oh,
More hate mail for
I
Jonathan.
don't want to do the show anymore. I quit.
Not so long.
Flap your fucking iPad.
On the Donald Logue train, like the Johnny Blaze like stunt team, I thought it was interesting just going through like the cast on Letterboxd that one of the stuntmen crew name is his name is Tony Ghost Hawk.
Oh yeah, no, I'm pretty sure I know which one that was.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the one who looks like that would be his name.
Yeah. You mean the indigenous man? Yes.
That's the one. Yes.
Yeah. Which is a really badass name.
Yeah, that's a super sick name. I like it.
And one tone I really liked about the film is it kind of feels like it's a Western, even if even the parts that didn't have Sam Elliott in it. Like there's like a really nice like Western
kind of vibe,
like vibe, oeuvre, what do you want to like ascribe to it. And like as someone who's sort of getting more into Westerns recently, I really do appreciate that. And watching the film as a newer Ghost Rider fan is to see like these really like just eye-popping moments when he's driving his motorcycle off the building and you see him just like he just whips his chains around like anytime he does this shit with his chain.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, this is sick.
It's
This is
really
so cool. When he just like whips it around and even we'll get to it, but even there's bits in too where
okay.
there's some good stuff.
I'm just going to propose this. There's no part in the movie where he's actual Ghost Rider that's not super enjoyable to watch.
Yeah.
In number one.
In number one.
Okay.
Yeah. We're talking about number one. Don't give me a number two mode.
I will say, like, we all have seen the iconic Marvel opening with like all the comic panels flapping, but like in the middle of this one, when it got to the actual Marvel logo, I loved how it actually turned into metal and like spikes popped up, and I don't remember that. I've seen this movie at least a few times. I don't remember that, and I was like, that literally the most metal Marvel opening in the history of movies.
Yeah, no, that was good. Like, there's a lot of neat little bits, like just small details that I really, really enjoyed. And Peter Fonda as Mephistopheles,
Yes.
he was very good.
Just like you're talking about that kind of thing, like the shadow behind Fonda when he's walking around Johnny talking to him, and there's like a backlit tent, and as he walks by, his shadow, instead of being Fonda's, is this old bowed
Demon sort of
Like
thing.
some like scoliosis demon motherfucker.
Like I'll go as far as before that, like the opening bits where Sam Elliott is just telling us the history of the Ghost Rider, and you see like him galloping down this road, and you see the horse's footprints in flames, just follow behind him, and I was like, God damn! For a movie that came out in 2007. Watching it on this television right now, that still looks pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, I mean, the scene on top of the building where he lassos the helicopter with the chain.
Oh, yeah.
That still stands up.
Yeah,
I mean, the
it's
CGI
still-
for that
yeah,
time,
for
it
sure.
still looks good to me.
Like, that's the irritating thing about it, is that the casting is so good. You've got Peter Fonda from fucking Easy Rider as Mephistopheles, as Satan, and that's great. You've got Sam Elliott as a cowboy Ghost Rider, and Sam Elliott is, of course, the quintessential cowboy. You've got Nick Cage, who's a huge superhero super fan. You've got Eva Mendes, who is really good. You've got Wes Bentley, and then you have you've got Donald Logue as the great sidekick and stuff. There are so many, and then the scenes like the ones we've talked about where he's off the building and he yanks himself back down. The fight scenes are cool. There's so much really cool about this story. Except the story.
Watching it is fantastic treat for your eyes.
Yeah.
Thinking about the story, a little bit of a
It's a very
little bit of a
pretty
headache.
movie. Like oh god, you thought I forgot, but I didn't. I thought it was a funny bit when Jonathan thought that Donald Logue was Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Well, for a hot minute, he did look like Earnhardt Jr. I'm just saying.
Shannon, you whipped around so fucking fast. Is that Dale Earnhardt Jr.? The fuck did you say?
No, like Jonathan and I, we went to Target, and on the way back, we were waiting at the red light, and we were talking about Ghost Rider, and I was like, you know what? I remember Donald Logue being in this movie. I love Donald Logue. He's great. And John's like, yeah. And I assumed that they knew what I was talking about. And then when we get here, we're watching the movie, and the scene happens where he finally pops up, and it's just like, it's fucking Dale Earnhardt Jr. What? I turned around. I was like, that's Donald Logue. How dare you?
It's a good thing they were sitting on opposite sides of the room.
Well, Donald Lowe, he turned up the Earnhardt of it all. Let's just say.
I mean, to be fair, he did have Earnhardt hair. He did have a Earnhardt dude.
I mean,
so
when you spun around,
fair.
your eyes were on fire. It was pretty.
I became the Ghost Rider.
See, that's the only way your Ghost Rider powers are triggered. I'd be like, hey, is Donald Logue Dale Earnhardt Jr.? Cannon just burst into flames.
My hair will be like, as Rebel Wilson put it.
Yeah, that's the part that was in the trailer. In every
It
trailer.
was in the trailer.
Yeah.
The scene
His
where he
head was
ran
on
up
fire,
the wall, ran up the side of the building with the bike. The part where he was like, "Oh, I feel like my head's on fire, but I'll be okay." You know, that was in there.
Oh god.
Yeah, I still remember like the trailers vividly.
Like that, and that's the thing. Like, there's so much cool shit. Like from the trailer, the cast. There's a lot of cool shit. The story sucks. There's no other way. Like, it's a very boring.
It's very
straightforward
best.
story.
It's very paint by numbers in that effect.
So,
Yeah, the story is like the absolute cliche superhero story.
Yeah, I've got powers, but I also want love. But I have to use these powers responsibly for the good of all mankind.
And
I can't have a girlfriend because she'll be in trouble.
I will say I did want to pose this question to everyone. The scene where Blackheart shows up, right, and takes out everybody in the bar. And first of all, the I guess, no pun intended, the decay effects in the first Ghost Rider I thought were really good.
Oh yeah, like the way he killed them and like shriveled them up.
Yeah, all of them just like turn into human raisins. Yeah, that was pretty fucking rad.
Well,
I thought it looked good.
You are a fan of raisins, though.
I do like raisins. Every fucking person he raisined up, I was just like, oh, get inside me right now.
And
Isolate that audio.
I did. We're recording right now.
But the effects still hold up as far as I'm concerned.
Like the one of the bad guys, whatever, like the greasy guy who turned into water. I thought the water effects looked good. Like for a movie that came out over 10 years ago now, it's like, it has still has some legs to it.
It's like he was an alien, but without the alien costume, just
Like,
always wet.
It's a lot better than, like, say, The Mummy Returns.
Yeah,
in terms of effects holding up.
Absolutely.
Scorpion Dwayne Johnson.
Oh,
you were welcome.
But
thanks for
the
that.
question I wanted to pose in the chat for now, just an interesting little mini game, if you will.
If you will.
Yes.
If
you will. There was a moment when Blackheart grabbed the last remaining person in the bar. There was a bartender, and he said, "I can smell your fear." So I actually wanted to pose an honest question around the room. What does everyone here think fear would smell like?
Urine. It's urine. It smells like pee-pee.
It smells like what
smells
kind
like
of pee-pee? Is it like animal, human?
No, it's just like it smells like pee-pee. It's like the person's pee. It's fresh pee-pee. Pee-pee poo-poo in the
fresh
diaper.
Like, I
pee-pee
feel
and
like-
fresh human, like fresh cat pee-pee are two different fucking smells.
Yeah, it's pee-pee poo-poo in the diaper, as Pat would
All
say.
right, pee-pee poo-poo. Jonathan, what would fear smell like to you?
Sewage.
Sewage. Pat.
Specifically, upper lip sweat.
Upper lip sweat. Okay.
Yeah.
Postman Frank.
I'm gonna agree with Justin. I think it's gonna smell like pee.
All right. As someone who has
Or asparagus.
As someone who has to deal with these fucking nasty bastards on the regular where I work, I'm going to say fucking boiled eggs. Fear smells like freshly boiled eggs. It's the worst goddamn smell in the history. Like, when I make a fresh batch, it's the only thing that I make there that after I'm done making, it, like, smells worse. Like,
That's fair.
I make a Cobb salad. Let's throw some eggs on it. Oh, it smells like somebody just shat in the kitchen every time. It's fear smells like hard-boiled eggs, in my opinion. It's gross.
I could go for some scrambled eggs right now.
I love some scrambled eggs.
I meant to get eggs at the grocery store the other day, and I forgot. I want eggs and toast with some turkey bacon and some Jimmy Dean sausage.
Fuck you all. I'm going to Waffle House after this.
And, like, we talk about this movie being, like, so dated as hell. Like, for example, there was I forget exactly what was happening, but There's a scene where one character was like, "You're going down," and they replied with the good old, "I don't think so." And I'm just,
Yeah, there's a lot of Nick Cage pointing in this movie.
yeah, like a lot of pointing.
I love that campiness of it. That's one of the things. I know it's so stupid, but it's one of the things I love the most about this movie because he would just point at the camera for really no reason. Like the devil comes up and he does this weird point where he doesn't actually close his hands. All his fingers are open, but the one index finger is out, and he goes, "You." And it's so bizarre, but I love it so
He's
much.
still
I
pulling
really
a
don't know why.
Nosferatu from Vampire's Kiss, probably.
Fantastic, though.
He's still holding on to that.
Could be.
And plus, like the pointer bit I love is like when he busts out of jail and you just see him like his finger just down the barrel of the camera. It's like
No, that was good.
And plus, like whenever I think of Ghost Rider, he's in like just like stock poses for him. He's either on his motorcycle or he's pointing because like guilty, and then he does his penance stare where he's like you just go into his brain and come out with your eyeballs being like
one of the reasons why
burned up asphalt.
I do love this movie so much is because there's so many just little tiny bits of humor in it.
Yeah.
It's not like big jokes. It's just like little things like Pat just mentioned. Cop hits him as he's leaving the police station, and he straightens up his jaw that's been dislocated and points at him like he's been pointing at the criminals, and instead he raises his finger up
But not in my
vertically
house.
and shakes it like what's his name, Manute Bowl.
Yeah.
And then when he
You don't
like,
say
when
the magic word.
he drives away, all these signs explode, and the garage just says rage.
Yeah. Like every time Ghost Rider is on his bike in this movie, everything he passes just either engulfs in flame or explodes, and it's pretty fucking rad.
Yeah.
I enjoyed those bits.
Here's what I think. My issue then and my issue now with it is why I don't like it more. Aside from, again, Rebel Wilson and Wes Bentley being fucking terrible, right? Wes Bentley's the biggest one. He's awful. He's a
Blackheart
terrible
again, right?
Yeah, he's just so wooden and unpleasant in this. It either lean more into the campiness or lean more into the horror. We apologize for the technical difficulties we've just experienced. Please enjoy this selection of Caging Karaoke as our way of an apology while we get everything back up and running. Thank you.
An old cowboy went riding out one dark and windy day.
Upon a ridge he rested as he went along his way.
When all at once a mighty herd of red-eyed crow capped, plowing through the ragged skies and up the cloudy draw. Give me a give me a in my ass.
Their brands were still on fire, their hooves were made of steel.
Their horns were black and shiny, and their hot breath he could feel. Bolts of fear went through him as they hunted through the late fuck.
For he saw the riders coming hard, and he heard their mournful cry.
Give me in my ass. Their faces were gone, their eyes were blurred, their shirts were soaked in sweat.
He's riding hard to catch that herd, but he ain't caught him yet.
Cause they got to ride forever on that range up in the sky.
Where's the snorting fire? And they ride on here, there, fire.
Give me
anyone calling his name.
If you want to save your soul from a hell of riding on a range,
Then, cowboy, change your ways today, or with us you ride.
Trying to catch the devil's curve across this endless skies.
So if they had just leaned in more to the horror or to the camp, I think it would have been better. And because it feels too disjointed, right? There's so many cool moments in the movie that don't feel like they belong with other cool moments in the movie. And I think that actually explains some of the choices in Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance.
I'm sorry.
Which I think is a fine segue now to
Just throw up my mouth
let's
a little bit.
launch into that.
Oh, we're going to the next one now?
Well, first of all, I'm going to disagree with your point because I know you're just making a segue because they were leaning very heavily into the camp. There was, in my opinion, there was very little horror type going on because Ghost Rider was not scary.
No, that was my point. There should have been more. That was the point I made. Like they should have had more and more camp, or they should have gone more horror, and it wouldn't have felt as disjointed.
But Ghost Rider 2, make a decision.
So
Yeah.
we'll do the thing we always do, and we'll go around the room. John, what did you think of Fatty's Fart 2? Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance.
Apparently, Pat said that's when comedy peaked.
there has nothing been made after Fatty's Fart 2 that's ever made me laugh that hard. So I'm saying hang it up. Comedy's over.
Comedy, you're canceled.
I do love Tropic Thunder so much.
I will say, wasn't as bad as I thought it'd be, but like my expectations were like Neil Breen low. So
That's pretty low.
You committed suicide. I cannot believe you committed suicide. Why did you do this? Why did you commit suicide? It's not a good movie.
Stop tapping. Picks up.
It's like it's just not good, but not in like a fun not good. Like I gave it 1.5 only for the 6th scene with the fucking machine thing where it was going and just turned everything into fire and shit. That was really cool. Outside of that, this movie is just kind of bland and forgettable.
It's fair. Cannon?
Yeah.
Do you want us to come back to you? You said you had a controversial opinion on this one.
Well, if I did, I already forgot it.
Do you want us to come back to you so you can breathe?
Yes, please.
Okay, Pat.
Hello, it's Pat time again.
Fatty's Fart 2, what'd you think?
5 out of 5. Let's talk about Fatty's Fart 2. It was only 1:45, but it was 1:45, best of my life. No, but Spirits of Vengeance, yeah. In a similar vein with Jonathan, I've heard tell like how bad it was, and it's not a good movie, but at the same time, I don't feel like I was just bowled over about how bad it was. Like I wasn't like in physical pain. It's like, oh, this is like actively making me want to do something else. It just seems really so markedly different from the first one. It's like this is somehow a direct-to-DVD movie that put onto a big screen accidentally, and it's just really bizarre. A lot of really questionable choices in about every regard. I will say the strongest points are the Ghost Rider moments when he's actually all ghosted up and he's like fighting with fire and stuff, which is why it's a 1.5 for me, because I feel like that the action sequences, as bizarre as some of the exchanges are, they're solid for what they are, and you know there's some pretty inventive stuff they did with it.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's kind of just unremarkable. Other than just how strange it is, and how and just the cinematic choices it made.
That's fair. Cannon.
Yes.
Back to you.
All right, I am good to go now. Okay, so I do remember my controversial opinion now. I have to say, basically, just to keep mine short and sweet, everything Pat said about this didn't make me want to do something else. I wanted to do something else the whole goddamn time this movie was on. Okay, like this movie made me rethink my review of The Fanatic.
Oh wow!
Wow!
I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding. That made me want to like bump The Fanatic up at least a half a star at this point.
Really?
But I mean, my controversial opinion, I will say, I feel like the fire effects on Ghost Rider were actually better in this movie than the first one. Other than that, this movie felt like it was shot at least 7 different ways with several different filters. And I've seen better cinematography in sci-fi original films. 1.5 stars.
Like, wait, half a star?
No, 1.5 stars.
1.5
Star and a
stars.
half. Okay, I'm gonna go now because I think we all know what's gonna happen when I ask. We're just gonna shuffle it around a bit. I don't like this movie. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. Mostly, I don't like the cinematography because it's from the directors of Crank. So all they did was make Crank, but with Nicolas Cage, whose skull is on fire. So there's a lot of shots that are really
Explains
terrible.
a lot.
A lot of shaky cam. Like the whole movie shaky cam is not good. I do love Christopher Lambert. He's woefully underused. Johnny Whitmore plays the villain in this one. What's his name? It's not Black. Is it
Blackout.
Blackout. Yeah, not Blackheart. Blackout. He's so much better than Wes Bentley.
Yes.
So much. Miles fucking better.
Was that the Decay guy?
Yeah, it's the Decay
Okay.
guy. He's so much better as a villain. But that's just because like he's fine. He's like a 3-star villain in this movie. But like Wes Bentley was so bad that it just feels leagues apart.
Yeah.
Ciarán Hinds was a good replacement for Peter Fonda as the devil. I like him in things. He was clearly told to overcamp it. Like they were all told just go crazy, do whatever you want.
I mean, Cage was definitely caging up in this one.
Like the directing style was just imagine if you were on speed and then go. So it's just I didn't like it. I gave it 1 star. I don't think it's as bad as The Fanatic. Just by virtue of it felt like it went by a lot faster than The Fanatic did.
I mean, it's shorter than the original movie.
Yeah.
But it's only 96 minutes.
Idris Elba was doing a weird French accent. Like it wasn't a good one.
I mean, I'm not saying that it is worse than The Fanatic. I'm just saying that at least that movie had a solid idea and kept to it.
No, that's very fair. Like it didn't feel. This movie feels like stereotypically schizophrenic.
Yeah.
Like when people say that felt schizophrenic, this is what they mean. It's just it feels like it's on speed the whole time. It's not. I don't ever want to watch it again. I've watched it like 3 times over the years.
Yeah, this is a second and hopefully last.
Yeah, this is the last time unless somebody says let's do a retrospective. Like God damn it. Okay, fine for the content. But I don't like it. I love Christopher Lambert though. For the 30 seconds he's on screen, I would have loved more. Like have him play the devil. Fuck, I don't know.
I did think it was funny, like looking into the story of the movie, how Peter Fonda was given the opportunity to come back, but apparently, allegedly, he read the first 5 pages of the script and said, "No, ma'am."
Yeah.
Fair. Very fair.
Yeah, I don't blame him. So now we come to the reason we have Frank on the show to begin with. Frank, old friend. What you think?
Okay. This is the 3rd time I've watched this movie. And just like the first time I saw it, as I mentioned before, I like going in cold to see my superhero movies, just so I don't have any expectations. And I sat down, and the movie started, and I was just like, ew, what are they doing? And the more it got along, the more furious I got. And I believe, when did this come out?
2011.
Yeah, 2011.
Yeah, I took my then 7-year-old stepson with me, And I was trying not to be a dick about it because he was with me, but inside just seething because every moment that it went on, I'm just like, who the fuck gave this director Ghost Rider? Because this isn't Ghost Rider. This is, as has been said, Crank with the guy's head on fire. There is no Ghost Rider in this movie. The dude is a skull with his head of, skull on fire head. That's the only similarities. He acts like he's an alien with the whole twitchy, shaky head for no apparent reason. It's just very bizarre. When you first see it, you're like, what the fuck is going on? The way it's edited, shot, angles, cut, everything. It looks like it has 4 different directors and none of them could compromise on how they all wanted to do it.
So apparently they had at least 2.
Yeah, there were two directors. It seems like there's 4.
Yeah.
And they all shot different movies and just stuck them together randomly. Unlike the first movie, you can't just watch all of the Ghost Rider parts and be thoroughly enjoyed because some of it is just so fucking bizarre. Doesn't make any sense. It's just weird. No. There is a couple of there's the one brief period in the movie that I enjoy is the one that Jonathan mentioned where he jumps up in like this crane digging machine and turns it into his Ghost Rider vehicle where the whole thing is on fire. And he's just like slamming this humongous thing around, killing people and destroying things. That was kind of fun. The rest of it is just hot garbage. Just skull on fire, hot garbage. And this is the one time I think maybe everybody is giving it a little too much. I'm going to give it 1 star because I don't want to give it the absolute worst. Because
you can go with half a star.
I gave it 1 star. I won't to, but there's that one little part I enjoy, and
that's to keep it from a half a star.
I mean,
5 stars because he's peeing fire twice.
I forgot about that part. There's a part where the kid, that was kind of funny. That was like the only real humor in there. There's like 1 or 2 attempts at one-liners. Mm-hmm. The only one that actually made me laugh was the one where they shot Ghost Rider with a missile and the guy who shot it goes, "Oh, did that hurt? It looks like it did." And then like 5 seconds later, he grabs the guy who shot the missile and burns him with his own fire chain. He goes, "Oh, did that hurt? It looks like it did." That was kind of funny. The rest of it is just an assault.
Oh, you mean what?
Yeah, the rest of the movie is assault on my fandom.
You mean it wasn't the time when Johnny Blaze said, "Merry Christmas, you assholes"?
Yeah, that made no sense whatsoever, but okay.
I made sure to put that in my notes.
Yeah, that was a bizarre choice.
Because I thought that was fucking bizarre.
And I will repeat when this first came out, what I said on Facebook in response to somebody who asked me if I had seen it. It looks like the director told Nicolas Cage to be Fire Marshal Bill, but don't be funny.
That's fair.
That is very accurate.
My favorite part of Ghost Rider Spirits of Vengeance is all the behind-the-scenes stuff, including the face paint and light tubes that Nicolas Cage wore when he was in character. We're going to put those in the social media. I just made sure to save several of those pictures because he had his face painted up like Baron Samedi, so like the skull and shit with light tubes around his head to cast the light, and he's just like rah, 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 just yelling at people and shit. And it's pretty funny.
Yeah, because that's something I read as well, that he was very much methody in his portrayal of Johnny Blaze in this particular film, which it seems funny how he's subdued, still a little cagey, but it's like how he's just screaming and twitching and just like yelling at people, and like Jimmy said, he dressed up a little bit and behind the scenes, and there was talk where he had like Egyptian talismans and relics sewn into his jacket, and he kept like special types of like gems and crystals to sort of like amplify the energy of it all, and so that sort of helped contributing to like the characters like, I'm actually absorbing spiritual energy to project out into this film, and everybody was sort of like a little like weirded out, but Cage was just like really just caging it up.
He slept in Vlad the Impaler's castle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this very much felt like a straight, not even straight to video, like a sci-fi action / a supernatural movie. It was more horror tinged than it was superhero tinged.
There's definitely like more attempts to be horror in this one, but I think everything is just sort of short-canned by just a weird visual direction of it.
They were gonna do like a hard R with violence and scary and horror, but then the studio was like, no, PG-13, please. Eva Mendes was offered her role back. She said no.
Yeah, they all made the right decision on that one.
I mean, like almost every person that was willing to come back from the first one was either saw the writing in the wall and said no, thank you.
The writing in the script, that's what they saw.
Or they said, or they were like, kind of like pushed out as production went forward. But like, man, it's just, I just felt like there's just all these different visual moments. Like when Blackout after he comes back from the dead, after Ghost Rider beats him up, he does this thing where he causes people to decay like Blackheart did a little bit in the first one, but like kind of just crumble to dust. But then like everything turns black. There's like a spotlight on whoever he's grabbing time. And it's like a weird like.
Well, it's supposed to represent his powers.
I mean, I get that, but like
it's just not.
It just looks really hard to watch because like they had like that and this weird like Photoshop lens like flare ball that just like zooms in and out at different moments.
Yeah, that was not good.
Yeah, I only knew what was going on the first time I saw it because I know the character. And he literally he projects like a area of just blackness that you can't see in.
Yeah.
And so that's how he was able to sneak up on these people and grab them and decay them and stuff. Yeah. And they were trying to portray that. And I was like, okay, that's fine. However, that's one of the good choices they made as far as I'm concerned.
We haven't even discussed the elephant in the room, in my opinion. How the fuck did they convince Idris Elba to be in this shit?
Was he that in demand at this point?
No, I don't think so.
I mean,
I'm gonna look up his filmography and see.
Well, definitely at that point, like he had been in a lot of movies, but like he definitely wasn't Idris Elba as we know him now.
I think at that point he was primarily English actor. He was like TV shows and for European audience specifically.
Because I know like stories about him like having like apparently a rough go of shooting the Thor movies, like at least one of the Thor movies. He was like, I'm sick of this shit. I don't want to do it.
Yeah, like I remember him becoming increasingly dissatisfied with essentially his role. Like he wanted something more substantial in the Thor movies, and then
they didn't get
the Russo brother came along and said, "Fuck you." Bitch.
Also, I saw him in that brown coat, and then I was reminded that I actually saw The Gunslinger in theaters.
I know I saw that too. It's not good.
Sorry.
I haven't read any of the books, so I went in blind.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, I heard the books are great.
Yeah, that's why I ignored the movie.
Do you remember that time your shop somehow ended up getting like 50 jumbo-sized posters for that goddamn movie?
Yes.
I still have them.
Are still there. I need to throw those out.
They were so big.
Yeah, no, they're huge.
Oh my god.
So no, Idris Elba. This came out the same year as Thor.
Yeah.
So they both released.
Wow, that's even double weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But before this, he was in The Losers, another comic book movie.
That's actually not bad.
I like that movie.
That's a good
movie. Got a lot of comic book people in it. And before that, his biggest thing was Rock and Rolla.
Great movie.
Great movie, but it was a small part.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that was. This is very early in his career.
Yeah, I would say The Losers would be the biggest thing up before that.
Yeah, his acting was fine. However, he was playing the most stereotypical goofy ass French guy.
And like here's the thing that I love the most about that is that this is the second movie I know of where Christopher Lambert has been in it, being a Belgian, which is very similar to the French. Yeah, he speaks French. And someone else who's not French is playing French. So it's just a weird, because in Highlander, as my favorite part of the original Highlander, I love the Highlander series. He plays Connor MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod. Scottish. Christopher Lambert plays a Scottish man.
Yep.
And his mentor is Sean Connery playing a Spaniard. So there's a scene of like, tell me of this haggis, for I know not of your food. It's like, well, how do you know? It's like a salty sheep stomach, and he puts some things in it. It is delicious. You should try it.
It's kind of like when Anthony Hopkins played a Spaniard in that Zorro movie.
Oh yeah, no, that's. Yeah.
That
was a choice.
A curious casting, but that Zor movie I watched it recently. It's fun.
You know,
Wait, which one?
Also, it's real horny.
The first
Mask of
Antonio
Zorro.
Banderas one.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, like
Yeah, I like those old movies.
I really like that movie.
Yeah, no, it was good. Catherine
Reboot
Zeta-Jones,
Zorro.
pretty attractive lady.
honestly, before this, getting back to Idris Elba, I think he was mostly known for TV. Like I think the big
Luther and shit.
Well, even before that, like his stint on The Wire.
That's right. I forgot he was.
He's like fucking amazing in that show.
Yeah, I mean he wasn't bad at like take out the French accent. He's a lot better in this one.
Yeah, I mean he wasn't terrible.
I'm sure he did exactly what the director directed him to do.
Exactly.
Was not great.
Provided the director actually did any directing.
I feel like the only reason like Nick Cage like wants to be associated with Johnny Blaze is just another excuse that gets him in a movie in a leather jacket.
Well, he's personally a really big fan of Ghost Rider. Like he really.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, huge.
I was trying to joke around, and now
I was trying to say something funny, and
I kind of don't want to do this anymore.
Well, good night, everybody.
you can just do my commentary for me from now on.
Spirit of Vengeance is really bad.
Oh man!
Now everybody do an impression of me. I will rate them on 5 stars.
Show's not all about you, Frank.
I think
You don't know about that, Justin.
the guest is getting a little big ahead over there.
But yeah,
I'm your biggest drawing star.
like there's so many parts. Like God, that one moment that sticks out in my mind is when I guess they're like kind of like interrogating somebody. And then he's like constantly like slowly like morphing into Ghost Rider bit, like his eyeball disappears and it's just like an empty socket. And I mean, I guess it's kind of cool. It's an interesting choice, but just like how they're going about it, it's just not coming off that great.
I mean, Frank, you can speak to this better than some of us can, but like, how much in the comic does like Johnny Blaze have to deal with his demon powers, like kind of manifesting, kind of projecting out, kind of like he's werewolfing it, like a little bit, like, oh, I gotta keep it pushed down or else I'll go crazy. Like, how often does that really occur in the comic? Because obviously different from the first movie.
In the comics, he really didn't have any control over when he became Ghost Rider. He was just Ghost Rider, and Ghost Rider was an entirely different personality. As it got on, just like in the first movie when he's in front of the mirror, I am addressing the fire spirit within me stuff. Blaze got more control over it, and that control would ebb and flow depending on what writer was on the book.
Yeah.
Like he would be. There's some there's some issues where he's completely in control of it, so it's just like a power he can snap on, and then there's some where like in the jail scene, it's night and he's around evil, and the Spirit of Vengeance is like, I gotta punish evil, and poof, he's Ghost Rider and he's after somebody.
Yeah.
Like I said, the first movie, very faithful to the original series of Ghost Rider. The second movie, Ghost Rider is not in it. There's a real creature with a flaming head in it.
But Frank,
that's
they
not
call
Ghost
him
Rider.
Johnny Blaze. That's clearly
It's
Ghost
Ghost Rider in name only.
There's also a Danny Ketch, who's clearly not the Ghost
They
Rider.
never say Catch. That might not be Danny Catch.
Yeah.
Who knows? It's fine.
Yeah, the little kid's name is Danny. I'm sure it's not Danny Ketch for.
They never actually name, like, the Wikipedia article links to Danny Ketch, but they never name him in the movie.
Yeah.
Fucking son of Ma and Pa Ketch.
It is. Yeah, it is quite convenient that the kid that he's trying to save is named Danny, who is the next Ghost Rider from the 80s.
Yeah.
90s.
Wasn't it late?
Pretty
Early
sure that
90s.
number one was 1990.
Oh, okay. Early
Still-
90s.
Still technically the 90s, Frank.
Okay. Fuck you, Justin.
Well, just the pedantry.
Fuck you, you
war.
comic expert, you. Yes.
Sorry. I'm saying.
I will say that going back to the first movie, though, this is probably the most like comic accurate I've seen a character look. Because, I mean, obviously it's kind of simple. It's just like black leather, but like it looks really good. I do think it's funny how Danny Ketch is kind of like the codifier for Ghost Rider, because in terms of like his skills and like, his abilities and his look is what Ghost Rider to be. But then like because they kind of just superimpose that on Johnny Blaze, the original Ghost Rider, and people kind of forget about number two.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, to the point where right now in the comics, Danny Ketch is powered by the powers of limbo. So he has a big giant ass sword.
He's
and
the
he has
spirit
a
of
weird
corruption?
helmet. Yeah. And it's not good.
No.
It's not good.
He kind of gave up being Ghost Rider for this other thing.
Yeah, well, he gave up for the other thing, and then he had to get powers. It was a whole thing. And the series got canceled early. So
It's sad because that was the series. Like, okay, I'm going to start reading Ghost Rider. Then Ed Brisson started, and then 8 issues, and it's canceled.
yeah,
And
was
it's
good.
like, damn.
There is one part of the first Ghost Rider movie that I would like to bring attention to because it's one of my favorite lines in any movie, and I had heard it after I heard it in this movie first, but the first time I ever heard the line was in this movie, and that is when Donald Logue is in Johnny Blaze's apartment, and Eva Mendes shows up, and he's mad at her because things were going great before she showed up.
Yes, I know what you're
And so he's like, "Come on, lady, we were riding a gravy train with biscuit wheels till you showed up."
I knew that was coming.
And that's just my favorite thing.
Also, I want to give kudos to the casting director for finding an actress, a younger actress that legit
yeah.
looked like a younger version of Eva Mendes.
Yeah, that was
great.
really good.
Like that was
And she is not related to Eva at all. Like
No.
they just found like her time displaced duplicate.
And the younger Nicolas Cage is nothing like him at all. Like
Nothing.
nothing.
He's got dark hair and he's a guy.
Yeah, I mean that was it. That was the only thing.
Nicolas Cage has no hair,
And they have
isn't
the
a
same.
guy.
They have the same hairdo.
Yeah, they do have the same hairdo in
the
that
same
movie,
wig
yeah.
probably.
What I thought was, and even John mentioned this when we were watching, it's like even though the movies are in production 4 years separated, Nicolas Cage, God bless him, he looks
Oh,
significantly older in
think
just
it's
a
just
span
the
of 4 years.
I think it's just the shooting. Whatever filter, whatever they were using, and the angles and shit, it looked. I mean, you've got to admit the quality of the actual product looked like your straight to video, like Cannon said, your straight to video movie.
Yeah, or like a
as
TV
compared to
movie.
your
Well,
feature film.
Well,
I mean-
I will say that might also attest to the fact because I noticed a lot in the first movie. A lot of his outfits, more specifically, like his motorcycle outfits, were very like tight fitting and form fitting, and he was in like relatively like decent shape in the first Ghost Rider movie. I'm not saying he wasn't in this one, but I noticed like his jacket was kind of bulky and loose on him in that movie. You know.
Well, I mean he was 43 when he filmed the first one, which made it even funnier every time Sam Elliott called him kid.
I mean, how old was Sam Elliott in comparison?
Sam Elliott had to
But
be
in
like
the movie, like 175.
Sam Elliott has to be at least 20 years older than him, right?
I'm gonna look it up because I'm curious. But
Because like, like you said, Nicolas Cage isn't like a spring chicken himself, but like,
No.
but then like also Sam Elliott's from the era.
actually, yes, Sam Elliott is 20 years older than Nicolas Cage. Yes,
So
he would have
yeah,
been
he's 60, so
63.
that would make sense. But also there is a certain era in Hollywood where, once you hit old, you were old from then on. Like, Rue McClanahan was 50 when
Golden Girls
ended, or like she was in her 50s when it ended. But then oh fuck, goddamn, what's her name? The girl who played Aunt May in the new Spider-Man movies.
Oh, Marissa Tomei.
Yeah, she's 50 there. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, the 50s are different.
I mean, just look at Salma Hayek.
Oh yeah,
She's just now playing a superhero.
Yeah.
And
She's
she doesn't look any different.
she's in her 50s.
Or Jennifer Lopez is in her 50s
hell yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's different. That reminds me of a meme I saw that I love. It's Emperor Palpatine, and it's a Spider-Man every time Sony announces a reboot. Soon I will have a new aunt. One far younger and more powerful.
I mean, because when you go down the line of the Aunt Mays and the Spider-Man franchises, they get noticeably younger.
Yeah. Pretty soon it's gonna be Zendaya playing Aunt May. It's like, this is
Like current Zendaya.
yeah, this is like 5 years from now. Oh, she's Aunt May now, and Spider-Man's gonna be a 10-year-old.
Well, they'll probably do that bit, like in real life, how there could be
She's a teenage mother.
like how you can have like an uncle that's technically younger than you and like all that shit. Be like,
Yeah.
oh, this is my Aunt May. She's like a little kid.
She's just like a literal baby, just like goo goo gaga.
Goo goo gaga. But Aunt May, I have to go.
Goo goo gaga.
Like his
Goo gaga giga goo gagoo.
his legal guardian is actually a child. That'd be a great bit. A bit I had, if I was Ghost Rider, I'd be just like the shit lord Ghost Rider. Instead of the penance vision, I'd have the poo poo pee pee vision, where you have to relive all your pisses and shits until for the rest of your life.
Simultaneously.
That would smell a lot like fear.
Like I just hold you up and you just like all the worst shits you ever.
You call back to the thing.
I call back to the thing.
Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider 2 sucks.
Yeah, it wasn't fun.
It's not good. It was bad.
I really wanted for us to watch the first movie and then record that part, so I didn't have the hate built up that I'd have to like step over to get to my enjoyment of the first one when we started this podcast, because it is a visible effort of me to push down the hatred that I have after ending Ghost Rider 2 to talk about my love for Ghost Rider 1, because yes, it's an affront to everyone who loves Ghost Rider.
It's not good.
And affront to cinema.
Yeah, it's bad. Crank wasn't good either.
No,
Crank
it
2 was
wasn't.
worse.
I didn't like the first one, henceforth why I didn't watch the second one.
Yeah.
You know, I might have to bump my review down to a star on the second one, actually.
Yeah, no, that's fair. There's not a lot of redeeming qualities in Ghost Rider
I was
Spirit
just
of
like, the more I think about it, I was like, I still feel a solid 3 in my heart for the first one, which honestly is a lot higher than I anticipated giving it.
It's
Yeah,
enjoyable.
Yeah,
it's
like,
a very enjoyable movie,
there
even with its problems.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch.
Yeah, it is actually a genuine fun time.
Like
It has a
every
lot of
time-
really good moments.
Every time I've rewatched it, I was like, I don't know, I don't want to rewatch that movie. It wasn't super great. And then I rewatched it, like, that wasn't terrible. That wasn't bad at all. It's like when a doctor's like, all right, going to be a little pinch giving you the shot. Like, oh, every shot I've ever had, even though I survived, it's the worst. And then you get the shot, like, oh, that's what that was. Right. I'm an adult, and I should probably stop being a coward. My bad.
Yeah. Speaking of very questionable medical things that people have said, I know I've told Shimmy this story. Okay, I'm in my 50s, and when you get when you get 50, they suggest you have a colonoscopy. Well, I put it off for a year or so, and I finally went, I got to go and do this because my doctor would not let it go. You need to go do this. You need to go do this. So
They were really thirsty to put that camera up your butt.
No, it's not even him doing it. Apparently, his buddies just got the hookup. Like, look, I need some more asses to look at. But
Not even a doctor, just some guy in a back alley.
Listen, I sell this shit on pay per
I
view.
go and
I call it
I
poo-poo
go
view.
and see the specialist to have like the procedure appointment, and he tells me this. He says, "Okay, we will give you anesthesia that will numb you, but you will." He goes, "You'll still be conscious, but after the procedure, you won't remember anything." And I've never heard a doctor tell me anything more horrifying in my life.
You won't feel anything.
No,
but you
I
will be awake.
I will be awake and aware of everything that's happened to me.
Yes.
But after the procedure, I won't remember it.
Yeah, that sounds terrible. That sounds awful. I hate
for
that
anybody.
I don't like any of that.
For anybody who hears this from their doctor, this is bullshit. Because
That's weird.
the
anesthesiologist.
yeah, that guy.
Anesthesiologist.
Worcestershire sauce.
Yeah, when I got rolled into the operating room, the guy goes, "Okay, I'm going to put this in your IV, and you're going to take a nap." And I went, "Wait, I'll take a nap?" And he goes, "Yes, you're just going to take a nap." And I'm like, "Okay, get this done."
Yeah.
And the usual thing every time I have been put under, count to 10, get to about 3.
Oh yeah, and then
1,
you
2.
Oh,
I'm in the post-op. Oh, okay, yeah. The worst part about the whole procedure is they inject you with gas so that they can look at things, and you have to fart that gas back out.
Yeah.
So after the procedure, you spend the next 2 hours with the worst case of indigestion you've ever had in your life, and occasionally just going like a trumpet.
Like fatties fart too.
Oh, yeah.
Just ass blasting your way out of a sequel of
and
Tremors.
what's even funnier, the nurses are all in on it, and they think it's hilarious. And they were like, "Okay, we're going to let you sit back here for 15 minutes and make sure there's no complications. And you need to try to evacuate as much of the gas out of your system. So if you're not farting, we may have to do something. So I'm like, she leaves. I'm like, I don't want to do anything else to my ass.
It's like it sounds like it's like a sheet tearing across the way.
I'm sure that the little fabric dividers in my little cubicle thing were just like.
It's like when fucking Smith and Neo hit each other, just a wave. The curtains just flap all over.
Like I imagine if there's someone that's like too demure or too polite to like fart in public, you just have like these two burly nurses like do some Three Stooges shit. Like one like presses down on your stomach, the other one lifts your legs up just like a leaf.
The other one's working your arm up and down and just
you just sound like a locomotive, like an old locomotive.
Y'all, oh god, did anyone here watch Kenny versus Spenny?
No.
All right, it was a show. It originally started in Canada, and I believe this was like a like
it was on Comedy Central. I know that.
Yeah. It started in Canada, and then Matt Parker and Trey Stone became Matt Parker and Trey Stone, right? Yeah.
Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
Trey Parker and Matt Stone. Yes.
One of the two.
South Park. Yeah, both of those guys.
Trey Stone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck. They had
Trey Parker Stone.
They would basically have competitions, and whoever lost, the other guy would have to endure. The loser would have to endure a punishment. One of the episodes was who can blow the best fart. Now, apparently, there are devices out there that can measure the methane levels of your fart, and they had those, and they had to put it right up to their butt and fart. Now, I think it was Kenny, who was notorious for cheating on the show all the time, like screwing Spenny over. He decided, hey, I'm gonna just like air pump air into my butthole and blow like the loudest fucking fart imaginable. But because it was just straight air, it didn't like register on the methane. So he used it as a fucking scare tactic, right? So he literally just pumped his butthole just full of fucking air. Had a crew member just pumping it, just walked downstairs, did a little on his face, and then started walking up the stairs. He goes, "You're gross, Kenny," and then just let out one of the longest, loudest fucking rips that has ever escaped any asshole in the history of the universe. And Spinny is looking at him terrified because he's like, oh my God, he didn't even measure it. Like, holy shit. I don't know why. I'd have pulled that episode up, and I bet Pat was going to die of a heart attack. It's going to be farts the whole episode.
Welcome to the Fartcast, everybody.
which is preferable to watching Spirit of Vengeance again.
I would rather watch Kenny versus Spinny than Spirit
a 90-minute fart compilation.
Welcome to Caging Fartness. Farting Greatness. That's the new name of the show.
Yeah.
I'm gonna shit on this microphone.
like instead, like it's still our theme song with the Cage bit, but instead of music, it's just farts in between that.
I might have to make a new theme song.
That's the outro.
It's like auto-tune like farts to us like doing our lines in the intro instead of like, this is my snakeskin jacket. Like,
I'm gonna do just a brand new song that's just fart based.
Just all of our lines replaced with just ass blasting.
Because I don't think this episode's gonna have a commercial break.
Really? Oh.
Yeah. Well, because one, we had whatever went wrong earlier.
Yeah, that's fair.
When it stopped recording, we just continued on as if nothing happened. And yeah, we're talking about farts for 6 minutes. I think we're pretty well done. The
moral of the story is, if you are curious about either of these films, definitely watch the first one if you want to have a pretty fun time. If you want to hate your existence, maybe watch this kind of sort of sequel, but not really. Reboot almost. The first and only time you'll ever see the Marvel Knights logo in a fucking Marvel movie, let me tell you.
It was also in front of, I think, Punisher Warzone.
Yeah.
Oh, that explains it. I also hate that movie.
Yes. No,
I would much rather watch Punisher Warzone several more times than Spirits of Vengeance.
I've only seen that one once, just like this Spirit of Vengeance, before we watched it tonight.
I do have to agree with Frank. For me, I'd rather watch Punisher Warzone, just because Ray Stevenson he'd be a really good Frank Castle.
Yes, he would have been solid in a better movie. Yeah. Like I'm not hating on his performance. It's just that movie was bad.
No, that is something me and Ken haven't in common, we are both huge Punisher fans.
And the premise is completely incorrect because the whole idea in the beginning is Punisher accidentally kills an undercover cop, so he quits. Frank would know the undercover cops because he does recon.
Yeah.
Frank Castle, not Postman Frank. B.
Postman Frank is
No recon.
Yeah. No, Punisher would do the recon. B, if an undercover cop got caught in the crossfire because he's shooting at the Punisher, then he has it coming. And Punisher would just go about his day. There's no quitting. It's like the same thing in Batman Forever. I met Nicole Kidman, Alfred, so I'm giving it all up. No, the fuck you're not. That's not how that works.
That's the second time that movie's been brought up in conversation today. Batman Forever, that is.
Oh, well, I told you guys about it, but on the episode we recorded for AYCH on Friday, when we were just the slasher one.
Yeah.
We talked about those fingerboards, the tech decks.
Yeah.
Ooh.
The very next day, which is yesterday when we were recording this, Saturday, someone brought in a bucket of old toys and some comics and stuff, and there was an unopened fucking tech deck in it.
Yes.
And that is at home now. That is mine.
Are you practicing?
I haven't opened it yet. I haven't been home enough to do it. But I'm going to get those old skills back.
I'm ready for I better see some sick tricks in a
Now, see,
Sure, bro.
what I think would be a great bet in the future of the podcast if we all just had physical props that we use on this show. Like, see, I got this radical new hat.
You have your cool hat.
Jimmy can do like some ASMR with the tech deck,
That's
and
right.
Jonathan can whip out their fan.
I kind of thought I was crossing back into the 80s, early 90s with that when I saw that hat.
Well, I mean, John's got the They Live mask. Pat's hat is the 80s all over. I'll get a tech deck. That's 90s.
Okay, what's your 90s prop, Cannon?
I have a smoking skull belt.
I mean,
Or
that's pretty good.
I was going to say,
That is pretty 90s.
you know what else is very 90s? The fart putty. You know the little gel you put in the jar, goes when you press it in?
slime.
Oh, yeah, that stuff I don't have. Yes.
Oh, get on it. We have a week.
No, speaking of belts, I did get a little bit of good news. Not a raffle, mind you. I did actually pay money for this, but I did get confirmation that a belt that I snagged about a month and a half ago is finally on the way. Because it's finally out of gold plating, and I saw the plates, and I commented on the post, and I was like, "Hey, bro, is that one mine?" He goes, "Actually, yes." So
Nice.
I got a new belt coming, and I am excited.
Very cool.
Very excited.
All right, so I think that's a good place to wrap up with the excitement of new belts and tech decks and Conan the Barbarian and never having to watch Ghost Rider 2 ever again.
Yes, never again.
So as always, we want to thank you all for listening to us talk about farts. Go rewatch Tropic Thunder because it's great. Buy a tech deck.
But just Fatty's Fart 2. Forget the rest of the movie.
no. The rest of the movie's great
Fatty's
too.
Fart 2 is better than the whole other movie.
Yeah, and as always, thank you all for listening. We're going to do our extras now. So, John, where can the people find you?
Well, if they're so inclined, I'm on Twitter, JONIBOI24, and John Owens12 on Letterboxd.
Cannon?
Oh man, I have been that. I have been that Canon guy. You can. I don't know what's wrong with me now. You can find me at that Canon guy on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. Not selling my soul to the devil.
Pat?
Oh, there
Already
is.
did that.
It's Pat time for the last time this week. Thank you so much for listening. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at John Lost His Name. My art on Facebook at John Lost His Name Art. If you're listening to this the week it comes out on Tuesday, October 26th, Tanner had a new episode, The Late Takes, where he and his guests discussed the, in a retrospective special, the former WWE superstar, The Fiend, and all of their prerequisite matches and lore. And on Monday, October 25th, there was a new episode of All You Can Hear with, 75% of this cast. We went through the top 10 of horror's biggest icon and put them to the test in a slasher tournament and find out which slasher and which AYCH host won that contest. And on Friday, October 29th, you can look forward to a brand new episode of our seasonal anime reviews where we discuss the fall anime season.
Sounds good. That slasher game was fun.
It was really. I
a good
had
time.
a great time.
Yeah. Except Leatherface sucks. Leatherface is terrible. I'm just gonna throw
Hey,
that in.
Leatherface didn't do anything to you. You leave him alone.
Ghostface didn't make the list.
I'd rather watch Rebel Wilson movies than any of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, that's
Wow, that is cold.
Frank,
I can't wait for the next Hot Takes episode.
Frank, do you want the people to find you online?
you possibly can. It's a very boring follow because I rarely post anything. But on Instagram, I am Swarley1145. And during the week, I'm wandering around Northport in a mail truck.
Yeah, no, just wandering, throwing out letters left and right.
Yeah, he's not putting them in boxes.
Just wandering around. I'm not delivering shit. I'm just wandering around.
You're just throwing them out the window.
Also, Frank is actually not here. It's been me the entire time.
What a great impression.
Yeah!
That was good. You did an impression and then the impression of yourself doing the impression. That was talent.
I know,
You've come a long way.
I've been sweating this whole time, let me tell you.
No one will ever know.
See, that was me again.
That was so impressive.
You know what? I'd be willing to say, has Frank ever existed at all?
Maybe. I think
He was a figment of our imagination.
Yeah, like Abaddon.
Abaddon.
Abaddon's real.
Yeah.
And she's right behind you.
Yeah. And she brought the band Slipknot with her.
Man, you know what? That would make up. I don't know. Like, they don't have any of their gear. Do they have any of their gear?
I don't know.
Could you imagine all 1,000 members of Slipknot down here putting on a concert in our basement?
They wouldn't fit.
No, they wouldn't
work,
fit.
no.
They wouldn't fit at all, actually. There's 9 members of that.
Yeah. And I've been Captain Chimmy. You can follow me. Captain Chimmy's kind of art. Captain Chimmy's almost music. Caging Greatness. The websites for that. The Facebook, all that jazz. You can get our merch at tpublic.com/user/Caging Greatness. All the money we get from that goes right back into the show to pay for the movies that we have to buy to watch them and the subscription services. So far, we're very in the red. All right. Super duper in the red.
We're just rolling in the red, baby.
Yeah.
If we're talking about how red we are, I think AYC has about 4 years of debt ahead of you, Mr. Man.
You got me there. And you want to buy some comics with Ghost Rider in them? I don't have that many, but with other people, you come on down to the comic strip here in Tuscaloosa. And please join us again next week. Get a quick little schedule bump.
Which is the first week of the Canon Takeover.
That's right.
Shit.
That's right. Actually, November 4th, our episode for November 4th is Travolting Development. So, Frank, we'll see you then.
Yeah.
2 Franks in a row.
2 Franks in a row.
News to me, but okay.
Yeah. Well, I was going to tell you when I pulled up the thing. I just pulled it up.
I have been on every one of them except for the very first one.
Well, since that's the next one, can I give everybody a solid, definitive answer on what that episode is?
That would be lovely, yes. What is the next? And Frank will be recording this a week from tomorrow, and it'll be coming out a week from the day it releases. What are we watching, Cannon?
So, one Hondo Percento for the Canon Takeover of November. Travolting Development is going to be The Punisher from 2004.
Nice.
You all know it was coming. You knew it was coming.
Nice. I'm excited. I love that movie.
I'm going to try to get another copy of the director's cut.
I have the DVD.
The director's cut? Fuck yeah. Let's go.
Yeah. And we also need to throw in the YouTube short they did, Dirty Laundry, with Ron Perlman in it.
I'm down. I love
It's
that
like
one
another
as well.
8 minutes. We'll throw it in there. It'll be great.
I love that short.
Yeah, it's a good time. After that, we are taking a break from Canon Takeover Month for Leguizamo Day, where we discuss his new Image comic, because John Leguizamo has a comic coming out for some reason. And we watch The Pest, possibly the most problematic movie from my childhood. After that, Canon's birthday episode. And after that, something else that Canon will decide when we get closer.
Yeah, I haven't figured those out yet.
TBD for now.
We'll get there. Look forward to that. And again, thank you all for listening, and we will see you next time.
I shitted vengeance.
Oh, all the vengeance. Well, I peed fear.
Yee!
Smells like boiled eggs.
How absurd.
Why couldn't you put the bunny back in the box?